I'm just going to lay into it. So, in America, I'm going to specifically stay in America. We have, they call the radical left, and then we have the right, which is radical right. We have people who believe in God at each side. We have people who don't believe in God on each side. We have gays, lesbians, transgenders, blacks, Latinos, whites, African Americans, um, Asian Americans. We have all sorts of groups. And we take all these groups into a newer nation, a much newer nation than Europe, Russia, Germany, Europe, Mexico. I'm not sure on the timeline. We have all these different people, and they're supposed to come up now with two sides. So you have Democrats and you have Republicans. Two sides who have each done very different but great things. They have all done amazing things. And I feel like what's going on, like a big ball of all these different people who are just kind of going around, and there's two red lights in the middle. And you can either just burst the one or the other. But you have all these different parts. And I feel like in modern age, it's September 14th, 2020. I feel like now in the age that we're in, having two choices politically to choose from by a specific day is asking for a bit much. It's really asking our growth to take a step back. I'm not saying growth as in religious or growth as in economically or healthcare wise or all these things. We just have too many groups to form two options. And it's like, how do you go back? How do you tell the system, say, we can't have Republican and Democrats. We have to have Republican, Democrats, independent. The Green New Deal is a really big thing, and maybe you need 4, maybe you need 5, maybe you need 6. I don't know how many you need, but 2 for the amount of people that we have right now. Besides, what you have is I feel like, really red, really blue muscle, and muscle to muscle, we're battling ourselves within. And I feel like a lot of people would understand that today. I really do. And I just wonder, how could you reach billions of people to tell them to reconstruct their government? How do you do that? These people who follow rules, or these folks that need a list, things to just, okay, this is illegal, this isn't right, this is what society says is incorrect, some morale, some vision, some hope, some understanding. How do you do that while splitting everything they've ever known into multiple different ways rather than 2, which is, the amount, other than independent, we had a lot of independent people that were, I think during JFK and Nixon and Reagan and even Bill Clinton, I think up to the 90s, they had always a independent party at the very end not fighting, but debating with Republicans and Democrats, and then it split into 2. And it's like, instead of splitting into 4, it's split into 2, and it's just not enough, I feel. But then you just have all these different areas of opinion, and it's like, how do you get the remaining people to vote for this or vote for that, or like only one president, vice president, and the list goes on. And I just feel like our government's trying on both parties to fight for what they believe in. However, we're moving too fast. We're moving so fast that someone like Pete Buttigieg's age would be where we're at. It's just like with technology and the way that everything's going, we need we need somebody who's going to keep up. We need youth. And I'm not saying that Trump or Biden isn't able to keep up with it, but I feel like how fast we're moving technology-wise, we need somebody that's going to keep up with all of it. And who that might be, I'm not sure, but one person, moral of the story, it just doesn't seem like enough. Like, how do you have this one person going among all these states, and then a vice that goes around all these states? There's two people out of all these states. But how do you get more people involved to all correlate with like a two people thing? So meaning, like, how do you get all these people to go by black and white to vote and stick to something they can all agree on? But then you have all these, I don't know how to explain it. We're growing too fast. I do feel that God, if you read the Bible and some of the things that it says, and I'm not going to quote because my Bible's over there. I still haven't read the entire Bible, but I do work on it. I'm working on it and reading it. And so I'm not afraid. I'm relieved that we're at a point in our system where it's just all kind of colliding. It's like that global government, that one world order is that much closer. I can't tell you 5 years, 15 years, 50 years, I'm not sure. And every person who's ever probably felt this way in the 1800s, 90s, World War I, II, all these different, I'm sure many people in that time felt like this was it. We're done. And then you realize, oh, they're not done. And then you have Y2K, 1999 to 2000, all these different things that people are trying to comprehend and predict. But only God knows. So the more that we let go of predicting and the more we just read and learn and live in the way God and Jesus, our Savior, the better we're going to be. You just don't worry as much because it's all under control.